Welcome to our channel. In today's story, we're diving into a tale of love, betrayal, and redemption. Betrayal and resilience. Overcoming the heartache of a cheating wife and finding new love follows the emotional journey of Ryan, a young man who believes in the magic of love at first sight. As he embarks on his college adventure, he meets Lily, a passionate art student, and their connection sparks a whirlwind romance. But when Ryan discovers Lily's hidden past and ongoing deception, his world is turned upside down. Join us as we explore how Ryan navigates through heartbreak, finds support in unexpected places, and ultimately rebuilds his life, discovering new love and a renewed sense of purpose. Stay tuned for this gripping and inspiring story. The air was crisp and filled with the scent of freshly fallen leaves. Students bustled around the university campus, their excitement palpable as they navigated through the labyrinth of buildings. Freshman orientation was in full swing, and among the crowd was Ryan, a young man with an earnest smile and bright eyes full of hope. His heart pounded with a mixture of anxiety and anticipation as he looked around, trying to take in everything at once. Ryan had always believed in the magic of love at first sight. It was a romantic notion he held onto, despite the skepticism of his friends and the pragmatic world of engineering he had chosen to study. Today, however, felt different. There was an electricity in the air, an unexplainable feeling that something extraordinary was about to happen. As he stood by the information booth, flipping through the orientation pamphlet, Ryan's attention was suddenly captured by a burst of laughter. He turned and saw a girl standing a few feet away, animatedly talking to a group of fellow students. Her auburn hair caught the sunlight, casting a warm halo around her head. She wore a colorful scarf that complemented her bright, expressive eyes and added a splash of vibrancy to the fall day. Drawn by an invisible force, Ryan found himself walking towards her. As he approached, he caught snippets of her conversation. She was talking about her art classes, her passion for painting, and the way colors could convey emotions in ways words never could. There was an infectious energy about her, a liveliness that seemed to draw everyone in. Gathering his courage, Ryan stepped into the circle and introduced himself. "Hi, I'm Ryan. I couldn't help but overhear. Are you studying art?" The girl turned to him with a smile that seemed to light up her entire face. "Yes, I am. I'm Lily, by the way. Nice to meet you, Ryan." "Nice to meet you too, Lily," Ryan replied, feeling a strange sense of familiarity and comfort. "I'm studying engineering, so I guess we're on opposite ends of the spectrum." Lily laughed, a melodious sound that made Ryan's heart skip a beat. "Well, they say opposites attract, right? What made you choose engineering?" Ryan shrugged, feeling a bit self-conscious. "I've always been fascinated by how things work. Building, creating, solving problems, it just felt like the right path for me." "What about you? What draws you to art?" Lily's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm as she spoke. "Art is my way of expressing myself. It's like I can pour all my emotions onto a canvas and create something beautiful out of chaos. Plus, I love the freedom it gives me. There are no rules, no limitations, just endless possibilities." As they continued to talk, Ryan felt a connection forming between them. It was as if they had known each other for years, despite having just met. They spent the rest of the orientation together, exploring the campus, attending informational sessions, and sharing stories about their lives. The sun was setting by the time they found themselves at the university's iconic central fountain, its water shimmering in the golden light. Ryan and Lily sat on the edge of the fountain, their legs dangling over the side, talking about everything and nothing. "Do you believe in fate?" Lily asked suddenly, her eyes fixed on the rippling water. Ryan considered the question for a moment. "I'm not sure. I mean, I like to think that things happen for a reason, but I also believe we have the power to shape our own destinies." "Why do you ask?" Lily turned to him, her expression thoughtful. "I just think it's interesting how we met today. Out of all the people on this campus, we ended up finding each other. It feels significant, you know?" Ryan smiled, feeling a warmth spread through his chest. "Yeah, I get what you mean. It does feel kind of magical." As the sky darkened, they reluctantly decided it was time to head back to their dorms. Walking side by side, they exchanged phone numbers and made plans to meet up again soon. "See you later, Ryan," Lily said with a smile as they reached her dorm. "See you, Lily," Ryan replied, his heart fluttering as he watched her walk away. That night, as he lay in bed, Ryan couldn't stop thinking about Lily. Her laughter, her passion, her vibrant energy, it was all etched into his mind. He felt a strange certainty that meeting her was the beginning of something special, something that would change his life forever. The following week was a blur of classes, assignments, and new faces. Yet, through it all, Ryan couldn't shake the thought of Lily. He found himself looking forward to their next meeting with an eagerness that surprised even him. On Friday afternoon, Ryan's phone buzzed with a message. It was from Lily. "Hey Ryan, want to grab coffee tomorrow? There's this cute little cafe downtown that I think you'll love. Smile." Ryan's heart leapt as he quickly typed his response. "I'd love that. What time?" They agreed to meet at 10 a.m., and Ryan spent the rest of the day in a state of nervous excitement. The next morning, he dressed carefully, choosing a casual but nice outfit and making sure he looked presentable. As he walked to the cafe, his mind raced with thoughts of how the date would go. When he arrived, Lily was already there, sitting at a small table by the window. She looked up and waved as he entered, a bright smile on her face. Ryan felt a rush of warmth and happiness as he made his way over to her. "Hey, Lily," he greeted, taking a seat across from her. "You look great." "Thanks, Ryan." "You too," Lily replied, her eyes sparkling. "I'm glad you could make it." They ordered their drinks and settled into an easy conversation. The cafe was cozy and quaint, with mismatched furniture and local artwork adorning the walls. It was the perfect setting for their first date, intimate and relaxed. As they sipped their coffee, Ryan and Lily talked about everything from their favorite movies and books to their hopes and dreams for the future. Ryan found himself captivated by Lily's stories and her infectious enthusiasm for life. She had a way of making even the most mundane topics seem fascinating, and he was more than happy to listen. After an hour or so, they decided to take a walk through the nearby park. The leaves were a brilliant tapestry of reds, oranges, and yellows, and the air was crisp and refreshing. They strolled along the winding paths, enjoying the beauty of the fall day and each other's company. At one point, they came across a group of children playing with a soccer ball. Lily's eyes lit up, and she turned to Ryan with a mischievous grin. "Want to join them?" she asked, already moving towards the kids. Ryan laughed. "Sure, why not?" They spent the next half hour playing soccer with the children, their laughter echoing through the park. Ryan couldn't remember the last time he had so much fun. Lily's carefree spirit was contagious, and he found himself feeling lighter and happier than he had in a long time. When they finally said goodbye to the kids and continued their walk, Ryan felt a deep sense of contentment. He glanced over at Lily, her cheeks flushed from the exercise and her eyes shining with joy. "Today has been amazing," he said softly. Lily looked at him, her smile gentle. "I agree. I'm really glad we met, Ryan." They reached the edge of the park and paused, neither of them wanting the day to end. Ryan took a deep breath, feeling a surge of courage. "Lily, would you like to go out again sometime?" he asked, his heart pounding. Lily's smile widened. "I'd love to, Ryan." Over the next few weeks, Ryan and Lily's relationship continued to blossom. They spent as much time together as their busy schedules allowed, exploring the city, trying new foods, and sharing their passions with each other. Ryan introduced Lily to the world of engineering, showing her his projects and explaining the intricacies of his work. In return, Lily shared her love for art, taking him to galleries and teaching him how to paint. One evening, they found themselves back at the central fountain, the place where they had first connected. They sat side by side, the water shimmering in the moonlight. "Do you remember the first time we sat here?" Lily asked, leaning her head on Ryan's shoulder. Ryan smiled, wrapping his arm around her. "How could I forget? It was the day everything changed for me." Lily looked up at him, her eyes filled with emotion. "For me too, Ryan. I feel like we were meant to find each other." Ryan's heart swelled with affection. He knew he was falling in love with Lily, and he could sense that she felt the same way. They sat in comfortable silence, the bond between them growing stronger with each passing moment. As the semester progressed, Ryan decided he wanted to do something special for Lily. He spent weeks planning a surprise trip to a nearby amusement park, knowing how much she loved adventures and fun experiences. He even coordinated with her family, ensuring that her younger siblings and cousins, who all had annual passes, could join them. The day of the trip arrived, and Ryan could hardly contain his excitement. He picked Lily up early in the morning, a playful glint in his eyes. "Where are we going?" Lily asked, her curiosity piqued. "You'll see," Ryan replied with a grin. "Just trust me." When they arrived at the amusement park, Lily's eyes widened in delight. "Ryan, this is amazing. I can't believe you planned all of this." Ryan smiled, his heart swelling with pride. "I just wanted to do something special for you, Lily. I hope you enjoy it." Lily threw her arms around him, her gratitude evident. "Thank you, Ryan. This means so much to me." They spent the day exploring the park, riding roller coasters, playing games, and enjoying the various attractions. Lily's family joined them, and Ryan reveled in the joy and laughter that surrounded them. Seeing Lily's happiness made all the effort worthwhile. As the sun set and the park began to close, they gathered at the entrance, tired but exhilarated. Lily looked at Ryan, her eyes shining with appreciation. "This has been the best day ever," she said softly. "Thank you for everything, Ryan." Ryan took her hand, his heart full. "Anything for you, Lily." As their relationship blossomed, weekends became a sanctuary for Ryan. Each Friday, as classes ended, he would pack a bag full of exotic ingredients and hop on the bus to visit Lily in her quaint, picturesque town. The 3-hour journey, once daunting, became a time of anticipation and joy. Ryan's mind would wander, filled with thoughts of Lily's laughter, her vibrant energy, and the warmth of their time together. Lily lived in a cozy apartment near the town's historic district, an area filled with charming shops, quaint cafes, and cobblestone streets. Ryan found himself enchanted not just by Lily but also by the ambiance of her town. Every corner seemed to echo with stories of the past, and it was the perfect backdrop for their budding romance. One of their favorite weekend activities was cooking together. Ryan, who had a knack for experimenting with flavors, would bring a variety of unique ingredients. Lily, with her artistic touch, would add a creative flair to their dishes. Their small kitchen would fill with the tantalizing aromas of spices and herbs, mingling with the sounds of laughter and clinking utensils. "Let's try making something new today," Ryan suggested one Saturday morning, pulling out a bag of fresh herbs and spices. Lily's eyes sparkled with excitement. "How about a Moroccan tagine? I've always wanted to try that." Ryan grinned. "Perfect. I've got everything we need." As they cooked, they shared stories from their week, their conversations flowing effortlessly. Ryan loved the way Lily's eyes lit up when she talked about her latest art projects, and Lily was fascinated by Ryan's tales of engineering challenges and triumphs. Their differences, far from being a barrier, became a source of endless fascination and learning. After their meal, they would often take long walks through the town, exploring its hidden gems and enjoying the simple pleasures of each other's company. They discovered quaint bookstores, hidden gardens, and cozy cafes where they would spend hours talking about their dreams and aspirations. Ryan's thoughtful gestures were a constant source of joy for Lily. One weekend, he surprised her with a custom-designed Build-A-Bear, complete with a voice recording of him declaring his love. Lily was moved to tears, her heart swelling with love and gratitude. "Ryan, this is the sweetest thing anyone has ever done for me," she said, hugging the bear tightly. Ryan smiled, his heart full. "I just wanted you to have something to remind you of me when we're apart." For Valentine's Day, Ryan went all out. He arrived at Lily's apartment with a massive bouquet of 200 red roses, each representing a day he had loved her. Lily was speechless, her eyes wide with astonishment. "Ryan, this is incredible. I don't even know what to say," she exclaimed, her voice choked with emotion. Ryan took her hands in his eyes filled with love. "You don't have to say anything, Lily. Just know that I love you more with each passing day." Lily's birthday was another memorable occasion. Ryan had spent weeks planning the perfect gift. a handcrafted necklace with a pendant intricately detailed to symbolize their intertwined lives. When he presented it to her, Lily was overwhelmed. "Ryan, this is so beautiful. I can't believe you did this," she whispered, tears of joy streaming down her face. Ryan gently placed the necklace around her neck, his fingers lingering on her skin. "You mean the world to me, Lily. I wanted you to have something special to show how much you mean to me." As spring turned into summer, Ryan and Lily's relationship seemed picture perfect. They continued their weekend visits, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. Yet, as the days grew longer and the flowers bloomed, Ryan began to notice subtle changes in Lily's demeanor. She seemed distracted during their conversations, her laughter no longer as carefree as it once was. Ryan couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. His concern grew, casting a shadow over the happiness that had defined their relationship. One weekend, during a visit to Lily's apartment, Ryan noticed her phone buzzing with a message. Lily quickly swiped it away, her expression fleetingly tense. Ryan's curiosity was piqued, not out of jealousy but genuine concern. "Everything okay?" he asked, trying to keep his tone casual. Lily nodded, her smile slightly forced. "Yeah, just a message from a friend." Ryan didn't press further, but the incident left a lingering unease in his mind. Over the next few weeks, he couldn't help but notice similar instances. Lily's distracted gaze, her quick dismissals of certain messages, and the occasional shadow of guilt in her eyes. One evening, as they walked through the local market, Lily's phone chimed again. This time, Ryan couldn't ignore the growing sense of worry. Later that night, as Lily slept, Ryan found himself reaching for her phone, a move that contradicted his usual respect for her privacy. The message was from someone named Brandon, a name he had heard in passing but knew little about. The contents were mundane, yet the familiarity in the tone was undeniable. Ryan's heart sank as he read the messages. Who was Brandon, and what was his role in Lily's life? As dawn crept over the horizon, Ryan knew he needed answers, yet he feared the unraveling of the tapestry they had woven together. Ryan had always prided himself on his understanding and trust in Lily. However, the messages from Brandon left a nagging doubt in his mind that he couldn't shake off. It wasn't just the messages that bothered him, it was Lily's reaction, her quick swipe to hide them and the fleeting shadow of guilt in her eyes. After a restless night spent turning over in his mind the possible meanings behind the messages, Ryan decided it was best to confront the situation directly. Over breakfast, with the sun casting a warm glow into the small kitchen, he brought up the topic. "Lily, who is Brandon?" Ryan asked, trying to keep his voice even and free of accusation. Lily stiffened slightly, her fork pausing mid-air. "He's just a friend from high school," she replied, her tone casual, almost too casual. "Why do you ask?" Ryan hesitated, not wanting to reveal that he had seen the messages. "I saw his name pop up on your phone," he admitted. "You seemed uneasy about it." There was a moment of silence, thick and tense, before Lily set down her fork and met his gaze. "I didn't think it was important. Brandon and we have a complicated past. But it's nothing to worry about." Ryan wanted to believe her, to brush away the cloud of suspicion and return to their perfect little world. But something in her demeanor suggested there was more to the story. "If it's in the past, why does he still text you?" he pressed, needing to understand. Lily sighed, a sound of resignation. "He reached out recently. He's going through some tough times and thought I could help. I didn't think it would be a big deal." Ryan's instincts screamed that there was more she wasn't saying. The day continued with a forced cheerfulness, but the seed of doubt had already been planted, growing with every forced smile and avoided glance. In the weeks that followed, Ryan noticed more frequent messages from Brandon. Each notification he saw on Lily's phone felt like a tiny betrayal. The situation reached a breaking point when Ryan visited Lily one weekend and found her laughing over a video call with Brandon. Unable to contain his frustration, Ryan confronted her as soon as the call ended. "Lily, this isn't just a casual friendship, is it?" His voice was tense, the strain of holding back his emotions evident. Lily's face fell, and she took a deep breath before responding. "Ryan, it's not what you think. Brandon. He was someone I once had feelings for. But that's all in the past. I am with you now. The explanation did little to soothe Ryan's fears. The old flame still seemed to hold a flicker in Lily's life, and Ryan felt a growing chill in what had once been a warm and loving relationship. Frustrated and heartbroken, Ryan made a decision. I need you to choose, Lily. It's either me or him. Lily looked at him with sad eyes, torn. After a long pause, she whispered, I'll stop talking to him. For us. Ryan left that weekend with a mixture of relief and sorrow. He hoped that this was the end of it, that they could move past this and rebuild. But deep down, he feared that the shadows, once cast, were not so easily dispelled. The weeks following Lily's promise to cease contact with Brandon were fraught with tension. Ryan tried to believe in her words, to brush away the lingering doubts that gnawed at him, but it was difficult. The easy laughter they once shared became less frequent, replaced by strained conversations and awkward silences. Ryan's visits to Lily's town, once filled with joy and anticipation, now carried a weight of apprehension. Ryan poured himself into his studies, using the rigorous demands of his engineering coursework to distract himself from the unease that plagued him. Yet, despite his best efforts, the nagging suspicion that Lily's heart was divided continued to haunt him. One chilly autumn weekend, Ryan arrived at Lily's apartment, hoping that time and effort would heal the rift between them. He knocked on her door, a sense of hope mingled with anxiety. When Lily opened the door, her smile was warm, but Ryan noticed a flicker of something else in her eyes, perhaps guilt, or maybe just fatigue. He dismissed it, determined to enjoy their time together. Hey, Ryan, she greeted, stepping aside to let him in. I missed you. I missed you too, Lily, Ryan replied, pulling her into a hug. How have you been? Lily shrugged, her smile fading slightly. Busy with classes and projects. You know how it is. Ryan nodded, but the unease in his chest didn't dissipate. He followed her into the living room, where they settled onto the couch. They spent the evening watching movies and eating takeout, but the easy camaraderie they once shared felt forced. Later that night, as they prepared for bed, Ryan's phone buzzed with a message from his friend Samuel. Glancing at it, he saw it was a simple invitation to hang out, but it reminded him of the message he had seen on Lily's phone weeks earlier. The memory reignited his worries, and he knew he needed to talk to her again. As they lay in bed, Ryan took a deep breath. Lily, can we talk? Lily turned to him, concern evident in her eyes. Of course, Ryan. What's on your mind? Ryan hesitated, searching for the right words. I've been trying to put it out of my mind, but I can't stop thinking about Brandon. Are you sure there's nothing more going on between you two? Lily sighed, her expression pained. Ryan, I told you, it's in the past. I stopped talking to him, just like I promised. Ryan nodded, but the doubt still lingered. I want to believe you, Lily. I really do. But something doesn't feel right. I can't shake the feeling that there's more to the story. Lily reached out, taking his hand in hers. Ryan, I love you. You're the one I want to be with. Please, trust me. Ryan squeezed her hand, wishing he could erase the uncertainty in his heart. Okay, Lily, I'll try. Despite his efforts to trust her, Ryan couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. His concerns grew as he noticed more subtle signs. Lily's hesitation when he asked about her day, the way she seemed preoccupied during their conversations, and the occasional glimpses of Brandon's name on her phone. One weekend, Ryan decided to visit Lily unexpectedly, hoping to surprise her and perhaps catch a glimpse of the truth. As he approached her apartment, he noticed the door slightly ajar. His heart pounded with a mix of fear and curiosity as he pushed it open. Inside, he found Lily and Brandon sitting together on the couch, their heads close as they talked in hushed tones. The sight was a gut-wrenching confirmation of his worst fears. He stood frozen in the doorway, unable to move or speak. Lily looked up, her face paling as she saw Ryan. Ryan, this isn't what it looks like. Save it. Ryan cut her off, his voice trembling with anger and heartbreak. He turned to Brandon, who looked equally uncomfortable. What are you doing here? Brandon stood up, raising his hands defensively. I was just what? Reconnecting with an old flame? Ryan snapped, his eyes burning with betrayal. He turned back to Lily, his voice breaking. How could you do this to me? Lily's eyes filled with tears. Ryan, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to tell you. Brandon and we've been seeing each other. Ryan felt like the ground had been ripped out from under him. The girl he had loved so deeply had been lying to him all along. Without another word, he turned and walked out of the apartment, the cool autumn air doing little to soothe the heat of his tears. The days that followed were a blur of pain and confusion. Ryan threw himself into his studies, hoping to drown his heartbreak in the familiar routine of lectures and assignments. But the betrayal cut deep, and no amount of work could numb the ache in his chest. His friends noticed the change in him, especially Samuel, who had always been his confidant. One evening, as they sat in their favorite campus cafe, Samuel gave Ryan a concerned look. Ryan, what's going on? You've been distant lately. Ryan stared into his coffee, the memories of Lily and Brandon swirling in his mind. It's Lily. She's been seeing someone else. Someone from her past. Samuel's expression softened with sympathy. I'm sorry, man. That's rough. Do you want to talk about it? Ryan shook his head, the words stuck in his throat. I don't know what to say. It just hurts. Samuel nodded, understanding the depth of his friend's pain. You don't have to go through this alone, Ryan. We're here for you. Despite the support of his friends, Ryan found himself sinking deeper into despair. The betrayal and the timing of it, so close to the anniversary of his grandmother's death, felt like too much to bear. The weight of it all pulled him into a dark place, and thoughts of ending his own life began to whisper in the back of his mind. Even in his darkest hour, a small part of Ryan resisted the pull of despair. One night, overwhelmed by the thoughts racing through his mind, he reached for his phone and called Samuel. His voice shook as he admitted just how lost he felt. Sam, I need help. I don't know what to do. Samuel's response was immediate and reassuring. I'm here, Ryan. We'll get through this together. Have you thought about talking to a professional? Someone who can help you navigate this? Ryan hesitated, the idea of therapy both daunting and appealing. I don't know. Do you really think it would help? I do, Samuel said firmly. Reaching out for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. You deserve to feel better, Ryan. With Samuel's encouragement, Ryan made an appointment with a therapist. The first few sessions were difficult, forcing him to confront the depth of his pain and the reality that his relationship with Lily was different from what he had imagined. But slowly, he began to understand that his self-worth was not tied to another person's actions or affections. As the weeks turned into months, Ryan made small but significant changes in his life. He re-engaged with his studies, finding solace in the structure and challenges of engineering. He started running, each step pounding against the pavement acting as a physical release for his emotional pain. Ryan also joined a support group for those dealing with grief and betrayal. Here, he shared his story and listened to others, finding comfort in the shared experiences and collective healing. The group gave him a sense of community and belonging that he had lost when his relationship ended. One day, during a group session, Ryan met Sophie, a young woman who had faced her own share of heartaches. Their friendship blossomed slowly, built on mutual understanding and respect for each other's pasts. Sophie taught Ryan that love was not about sacrifice to the point of losing oneself, but about mutual support and growth. As the anniversary of his grandmother's death approached, Ryan felt a resurgence of grief but now knew how to handle it healthily. He visited his grandmother's grave, not with a heart laden with sorrow and betrayal, but with a spirit of gratitude for the love and lessons she had imparted. Standing there, he spoke to her in hushed tones, sharing his journey from despair to healing. Ryan's path to recovery was neither straight nor easy, but each step forward reaffirmed his belief in resilience and the possibility of redemption. The final session with his therapist was a milestone. He had learned to forgive, not just Lily, but also himself. A year after his darkest moment, Ryan stood before an audience at a conference, sharing his story. The theme was about overcoming personal tragedies and the importance of mental health awareness. As he spoke, his words resonated with strength and hope. After the conference, Ryan found himself surrounded by people, each expressing their gratitude for his courage in sharing his story. As he interacted with them, he felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Later that evening, as he walked along the same paths he had once roamed in despair, he felt a gentle peace settle over him. Life had come full circle, not back to where he started, but to a new beginning, where past pains had transformed into wisdom and strength. Ryan realized that while the past could not be changed, the future was still his to shape. With a heart open to new possibilities, he looked forward to whatever challenges and joys lay ahead, knowing he had the tools and the resilience to face them. After the harrowing confrontation with Lily and Brandon, Ryan knew he needed to focus on healing and rebuilding his life. The pain of betrayal still lingered, but his sessions with the therapist and support from friends like Samuel and Sophie provided a foundation for recovery. Ryan immersed himself in his studies and extracurricular activities. He joined a robotics club on campus, where he found solace in the camaraderie and the shared passion for innovation. Working on complex engineering projects allowed him to channel his energy and emotions into something constructive, and the sense of accomplishment he felt with each completed task helped restore his confidence. One afternoon, while working in the lab, Ryan received a call from his mother. She had always been his pillar of support, and her voice was a balm to his wounded heart. "Hi, Mom," Ryan greeted, setting aside his tools. "Hi, sweetheart. How are you holding up?" Her voice was gentle, filled with concern. "I'm getting there," Ryan admitted. "It's been tough, but I'm finding my way." "I'm glad to hear that," she said warmly. "I know how much Lily meant to you, but remember that you deserve someone who appreciates and loves you wholeheartedly." Ryan nodded, even though she couldn't see him. "Thanks, Mom. I'm starting to realize that." Their conversation was a reminder of the unconditional love and support he had from his family. It strengthened his resolve to continue on his path of healing and growth. As Ryan continued his journey of self-discovery, he knew that he couldn't fully move forward without addressing the lingering shadows of his past. The anniversary of his grandmother's death was approaching, and the memories of that time were intertwined with his recent heartbreak. Determined to honor his grandmother's memory in a meaningful way, Ryan decided to visit her grave. He wanted to share his journey with her, to find closure and peace. On a cool autumn morning, he made his way to the cemetery, a bouquet of lilies in hand. Standing before her gravestone, Ryan felt a mix of sorrow and gratitude. His grandmother had been a guiding light in his life, and her wisdom and love continued to influence him even after her passing. "Hi, Grandma," Ryan said softly, placing the flowers at her grave. "It's been a tough year, but I wanted to tell you about everything that's happened." He spoke to her as if she were there, recounting the highs and lows of the past months. He shared his pain, his doubts, and his journey towards healing. As he talked, he felt a sense of release, as if the weight of his emotions was being lifted. "I miss you every day," he concluded, his voice trembling. "But I know you're watching over me. Thank you for everything, Grandma." As he stood there, the gentle breeze seemed to carry her presence, and Ryan felt a sense of peace settle over him. It was a moment of catharsis, a step towards embracing his past and finding the strength to move forward. With his heart a little lighter, Ryan returned to his life with renewed determination. He continued his therapy sessions, where he learned valuable tools for managing his emotions and building healthy relationships. His therapist encouraged him to focus on his passions and to surround himself with positive influences. One of those positive influences was Sophie. Their friendship had grown steadily, built on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. Sophie was kind, empathetic, and supportive, and Ryan found himself looking forward to their conversations and shared activities. One evening, as they walked through the park, Sophie turned to Ryan with a thoughtful expression. "Ryan, have you ever thought about volunteering? I know it helped me a lot when I was going through a tough time." Ryan considered her suggestion. "I haven't, but it sounds like a good idea. What kind of volunteering do you do?" Sophie smiled. "I volunteer at a local community center. We organize events and activities for kids and teenagers. It's really rewarding, and it's a great way to give back." Ryan nodded, intrigued. "That sounds amazing. I think I'd like to try that." The following week, Ryan joined Sophie at the community center. The vibrant energy of the kids and the sense of purpose he felt while helping others brought a new light into his life. He enjoyed teaching them about robotics and engineering, and their enthusiasm was infectious. As time passed, Ryan's life continued to improve. He found joy in his studies, his volunteer work, and his friendships. The pain of the past no longer defined him. Instead, it became a part of his story, a testament to his resilience and growth. One sunny afternoon, Ryan and Sophie sat on a bench overlooking the park. The trees were ablaze with fall colors, and the air was filled with the scent of pine and earth. "I'm really glad I met you, Sophie," Ryan said, his voice sincere. "You've helped me more than you know." Sophie smiled, her eyes warm. "I'm glad we met too, Ryan. You've come a long way, and I'm proud of you." Ryan felt a surge of gratitude. "Thanks, Sophie. I feel like I'm finally moving forward." As they sat in companionable silence, Ryan realized that his journey was far from over. There would be challenges ahead, but he knew he had the strength to face them. He had learned to trust himself, to value his own worth, and to embrace the possibilities of the future. One evening, as Ryan was leaving the community center, he saw a familiar face waiting outside. It was Lily. His heart skipped a beat, a mix of emotions swirling within him. "Ryan, can we talk?" Lily asked, her voice tentative. Ryan nodded, his curiosity piqued. "Sure, let's walk." They strolled along the quiet streets, the night air cool and refreshing. Lily seemed nervous, and Ryan could sense that she had something important to say. "I wanted to apologize," she began, her voice sincere. "I know I hurt you, and I've regretted it every day since. Brandon and it was a mistake. I should have been honest with you from the start." Ryan listened, his emotions in turmoil. He had moved on, but the pain of the past still lingered. "Lily, I appreciate your apology. It means a lot to me. But I've learned that I need to focus on my own happiness and well-being." Lily nodded, tears glistening in her eyes. "I understand. I just wanted you to know that I'm truly sorry." They continued walking, the silence between them filled with unspoken words. When they reached the park, Ryan turned to her. "I hope you find happiness, Lily. We both deserve that." Lily smiled through her tears. "Thank you, Ryan. I wish you all the best." As they parted ways, Ryan felt a sense of closure. He had faced the shadows of his past, and now he was ready to embrace the future. The next few months were a time of growth and renewal for Ryan. His relationship with Sophie deepened, and they spent more time together, sharing their hopes and dreams. They supported each other through challenges and celebrated each other's successes. One evening, as they sat by the lake, Sophie turned to Ryan with a thoughtful expression. "Ryan, have you ever thought about what you want to do after graduation?" Ryan smiled, the future no longer a source of anxiety but of excitement. "I have. I want to continue working in engineering, maybe even start my own company someday. And I want to keep volunteering. It gives me a sense of purpose." Sophie nodded, her eyes filled with admiration. "I think you'd be great at that. And I'll be here to support you every step of the way." Ryan felt a surge of gratitude. "Thank you, Sophie. Your support means the world to me." As they watched the sunset, Ryan realized that he was no longer defined by his past. He had grown, learned, and found new strength. The future was bright, filled with endless possibilities, and he was ready to embrace it with an open heart. The years that followed were a testament to Ryan's resilience and determination. He graduated with honors, started a successful engineering firm, and continued his volunteer work at the community center. His relationship with Sophie blossomed into a deep and abiding love, and they built a life together filled with joy, support, and mutual respect. Ryan often thought about his journey, the pain, the heartbreak, and the growth. He knew that every experience had shaped him into the person he had become, and he was grateful for the lessons he had learned. One evening, as he and Sophie sat on their porch, watching the stars, Ryan felt a profound sense of peace. He had faced his past, embraced his present, and was excited for the future. "Sophie," he said softly, taking her hand in his. "Thank you for being by my side. I couldn't have done this without you." Sophie smiled, her eyes shining with love. "I feel the same way, Ryan. We've come a long way, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. As they sat together, under the vast expanse of the night sky, Ryan knew that he had found his true path. It was a path of resilience, love, and endless possibilities, and he was ready to walk it with the woman he loved by his side. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey through betrayal and resilience, overcoming the heartache of a cheating wife and finding new love. Ryan's story is one of heartache, growth, and ultimately, the triumph of the human spirit. Despite the deep betrayal he faced, Ryan's determination to heal and move forward led him to new opportunities, profound friendships, and a love that was built on mutual respect and understanding. As Ryan and Sophie sit together under the stars, reflecting on their past and looking forward to their future, we are reminded of the strength that lies within each of us. Ryan's path from despair to happiness shows that even in our darkest moments, there is hope and the possibility of a brighter tomorrow. We hope Ryan's story has inspired you to believe in the power of resilience and the beauty of new beginnings. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more captivating stories that touch the heart and uplift the spirit. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.